We're with Erin, Sheehan, and Stephanie Hogan, senior members of the Eastern field hockey team. Eastern's been in preseason for about 10 days or so, getting ready for the season opener on September 1st at home against Springfield College. Steph, you guys had a long preseason, a hot preseason. How did things go?
Yeah, it was pretty long. We had 2 scrimmages, which were spread out far enough, but we had 4 days right in the beginning that we had double sessions every day. A lot of newcomers this year, so some of the practices were a little slow. We had to get to know each other, get to know how everybody worked on the field. Overall, everybody performed well. A lot fewer injuries than we've had in previous years by far.
For what reason? For what reason?
I think we did a good job of preparing everybody over the summer, letting them know, like, hey guys, listen, we do running tests. We have all these things that we have to do during season. Make sure, over the summer you're doing your work. You're getting yourselves ready.
How about some of the things that you guys did, Erin? Maybe that was off the field in terms of any kind of bonding things, since it was such a large group, new group.
We had dinner tonight, or dinner every night together. We went to our coach's parents' house, had a pool day, and just relaxed, played games, got to know each other. We really try to hang out with them at night, not just send them off to their dorm rooms after we were done with dinner. We wanted to get to know them and hang out with them. I mean, we're still getting to know everyone. Take a while. There's like 14 of them, so.
Just their names alone. So you guys might have lost a little bit of weight since you didn't get the lion's share of the food when you guys.
Yeah.
You got to change the way you do that, right? Or
Yeah.
now the seniors are going to eat first.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You had some big eaters. They're healthy girls, right?
Yeah.
They're hungry?
And they're hungry girls.
But how have they generally been? Erin, did you find that the new kids sort of caught on pretty quickly to the whole system?
I definitely think so. It took some time. Bryce, number 11, she picked up midfield very quickly. Also, Kira, number 30, the goalie, she got in net and she was ready to go. It was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. I think she's a good asset to our team this year.
Was there a lot of instructing this year with the younger kids? Did the coach take more time to explain things, how things go this year as opposed to some past years? Do you think?
I think so. We work in diamonds a lot, and I know this year we're trying to get away from it a little bit and use a primarily offense-based team. But as far as our defense goes, we work in diamonds. Our corner defense, we're trying to turn it into diamonds now. We're trying to keep the forwards more on their angles, but as far as defense, definitely a lot about positioning, knowing when you should be up, when you should be back, who has who in the circle. Our goalies being vocal all the time. So definitely a lot of coach stopping and telling us, like, girls, listen, like, in order to be successful, these are the things we have to do.
Do you think a lot of kids come in nowadays from high school that understand some of that stuff? Or does it vary? Some do, some don't?
It depends on their program, if they come from a strong program or not. If their coach is a legend, pretty much. Like, coming from high school, like both Steph and I, Babby Noon was a legend.
Absolutely.
So, like, it was easy for us to transfer into this.
How important, Steph, how much of a role will the newcomers play? More than half the team are new, but will they play a vital role in the success of the team?
They're going to play a huge role, considering we have 3 goalies that came in that
All
are brand
new,
new.
yeah.
2 freshmen, and then Kira, who we mentioned before, is a transfer sophomore. My sister, actually, Sydney Hogan, came in as a transfer sophomore on the forward line, who is going to play a huge role in putting the ball in the net for us. A couple of returners, too, that we need on the forward line. And as far as our defensive line goes, we have Kaylin Miller, who's probably going to be our sweeper this year, who's going to play a huge role for us. So, yeah, as far as subbing in, starting everywhere on the field, rotating positions, our midfields need a break every once in a while. It's exhausting running up and down the whole game. So they're going to play a huge role, honestly. We need people to put the ball in the net, and we need people to keep the ball out of our net. So.
You guys lost some key defensive players. Katie Jenker, one of them.
Yeah.
So you primarily been like maybe an offensive midfielder your first 3 years, to some degree.
Yeah.
But will your role change more to defense this year?
This year I'll most likely be the center back. So I'll be primarily defense. I might see the dotted line on the offensive side, but probably not. Whereas, yeah, we'll see. But mainly defensive this year.
What do you guys, Erin, the 4 seniors are the captains this year. Does your role change being the captain of a bunch of very young kids? you have to take more of an aggressive role?
Not so much. I mean, you kind of have to lay down the law, like during preseason, which I think we did. They understand that we're here to play. We're going to be serious. It's not a joke to play for Eastern. But I think they understand it by now. They're ready to go out there and play.
What are the goals this year? You guys had a pretty good year last year. The year before, you 7-10. You finished in the middle of the conference. Any specific goals that you guys have talked about for this year?
We'd like to be at least fourth in the LAC, I think. We definitely want to make the tournament no matter what.
Yeah.
A goal to strive for would definitely be having a first round home game. That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
And we definitely want to be keen again.
Yes.
What was that feeling like?
That was
Incredible.
probably the most incredible feeling ever. Like, it was amazing. They had no idea we were going to come out that strong. And, I mean, this year being on our home field and with the new turf, they won't know how to handle that turf. It'll probably take them a full first.
And it's
half.
our senior day.
Yeah, it's our senior
So-
day.
Add an incentive. Though they have the real AstroTurf.
Yes.
Where the ball
Yes.
moves really quick. Was that when you guys played Keene at Keene? Was that turf more like our old turf?
Yes.
So it wasn't that big of an adjustment for you guys when you played there.
Just like a titch fast.
A little faster,
Yeah.
yeah. So talk a little bit about what this turf. This isn't really primarily field hockey turf. It's more.
Field turf.
It's field turf for
Yeah.
lacrosse and soccer and everything else.
Yeah, I think it's
What kind of adjustment has there been?
It's a lot slower. We can't push the ball anymore. You got to hit
Yeah,
it all the time. And I think
hard
that's
hits.
definitely something that the returners and even the newcomers are still trying to get used to, that when the ball is going towards the end line, it's probably not going to just roll out anymore. You need to sprint to every single ball. You need to put some, your legs into it when you hit it. You can't just, push the ball and hope it gets there. You really have
It
to
was
use-
definitely more of an adjustment for the returners because we're so used to the
Yeah,
faster
yeah,
turf. Where
yeah.
for the newcomers, they picked it up in 4 days. But now, like, we're just starting to get our hits off. Like, we know how to get under the ball now.
Are most high school kids, the vast majority of high school kids coming from turf fields?
Now,
Yeah.
Or maybe
now,
at
like-
least in travel ball or AAU or
Yeah.
whatever they call it now?
I mean, when we were in high school, we played on the muddiest grass
Did
field
you?
ever. Like, coming to turf, we were like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, but
Do they have turf yet?
no.
Oh, they still have grass?
No.
Is that common in high school still? Like
Yeah,
half and half
some.
maybe?
I mean,
Yeah.
the shoreline varies. A lot of new schools have gotten it. I know Brantford
Yeah.
has turf, Guilford has turf, Old Saybrook just put in a new turf field not too long ago.
Did
so-
they?
Clinton has turf.
Yeah, Morgan.
HK, so most of them do in that conference.
Yeah.
I always thought the fast turf was a negative for you guys because I'd see you guys would hit the ball and then you're chasing it and it's out of bounds already.
It's an adjustment.
It's an
High
adjustment,
school,
yeah.
But I like it so much better. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd 100% rather play in turf than
Mhm.
grass.
Yeah, we used to have a grass field, but that was nasty. I mean, you couldn't play. The game is not made for
Yeah, no.
for grass,
Not at all.
right?
No, it's made for turf.
We talk about the 2 scrimmages this year. You guys had to be really encouraged. You came out in that first scrimmage against Johnson and Wales. And what was that score? 6-0 or 7-1, something like that.
Yeah, 7-1.
Did you guys feel, was that after that scrimmage was over? Did you feel like we have a legitimate team here, or
Yeah.
what was
I
the
think-
reaction after that?
Like, we knew that we had a good game, but we knew we still had to work on some things. We came out pretty strong and we held our own, but we definitely had more to work on after it.
Yeah.
What about the second scrimmage against Smith? It was sort of like in reverse. You didn't look as sharp as you did against Johnson and Wales.
Yeah, I feel as if we knew after Johnson Wells we did have some things to work on, and I feel as if the things we had to work on really came out in the Smith scrimmage. Our cohesiveness on the field wasn't really there. I mean, as far as people rotating positions all the time, that's definitely something we had to work on, which we have worked on during practice this week. We have a big game coming up against Springfield, so we really had to make sure we knew, what everybody was doing on the field, had our passes there at all times. So I feel like the second scrimmage, we definitely didn't come out as strong. We had a lot of shots on net that probably should have went in, but they didn't. And I just think that we learned from our mistakes, and it should show in our next game.
Well, that prepares you more, right? Playing a team like Smith, which was a little bit better,
Yeah.
it's going to show you your mistakes,
Yeah.
and so you know what more to work on.
And
Yeah.
then
You got-
Smith plays Springfield in regular season, so it's like, it was a good eye-opener for us, I think.
Yeah. Rather than waiting for the first
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
You guys, you two both went to North Branford High School. You played together for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
You guys must know every single move you're each going to make on the field.
Pretty much. We
Yeah.
still play next to each other, so
Yeah.
I always know where she is, whether or not she's saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Did you guys know you were both gonna come here? We talked about this, but you wanna explain that. Was it just sort of coincidental that you both
Just
ended
like
up here?
kind of happened. I think
Yeah.
we texted each other one day, asking about roommates or something, and we're like, oh, we're both going to Eastern. It was pretty cool.
Were you guys really close in high school, or were you just teammates?
Yeah.
I know high school kids
Yeah.
are pretty close
You're in
usually.
like the same friend group, so
Yeah, exactly.
But you were talking about you were gonna go to Salem for hockey, ice hockey, but that didn't work out?
No, just because of like the nursing and everything, they said it would have been really hard. So,
And they have nursing.
they have a nursing program.
So, Steph, you came here, the education program is very good here.
Yeah.
Has it been what you thought it would be?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot of work in the education program, but I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a
I
lot of
wouldn't
work.
change my decision, and I love Eastern, so.
It's secondary, were you
Yeah,
saying you're
secondary ed and
ed?
math.
So when will you student teach?
I'm in my pre-student teaching now, so 2 days a week I go and do that, and then next semester I'll be there Monday through Friday, and I'm doing it at Bacon Academy.
Oh, you're baking, that's
Yeah.
good. So is pre-student teaching, do you just observe, or are you
Um,
actually hands-on?
The first couple of weeks it's just observing, and then probably within the next like month or two, I'll be teaching my own lessons and lesson planning and helping out with things. So
You can sort of ease into it.
yeah,
Last question, girls. You got a tough schedule. I mean, starting off with Springfield and Wesleyan is tough before you get into the conference game. So your first 3 games are home. Any games other than Keene that you guys are pointing towards more than others?
Worcester State.
Yeah.
Worcester
UMass.
State.
Oh,
came in
Worcester
first.
State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dartmouth, yeah, they have that one girl, number 7.
They
Coach
still got
already
her?
said she's going to be face guarded.
Yeah. A couple of close games
Yeah.
last season that shouldn't have been close. Southern Maine is another one
Yeah.
that was close last season that we definitely want to, learn from what we did last game so we know what they're going to do and what we can do better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, LAC's pretty competitive overall,
Yeah.
so we're just looking to do well and get it to the championship game.
Especially bringing Castleton now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It adds a whole other level.
It's nice in your last year that you get to play them at home.
Yes, definitely.
So the Eastern Connecticut Field Hockey is going to open up their season on September 1st. They're going to be hosting Springfield College on Family Day in a non-conference match getting underway at 11 a.m. Girls, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.